It's about time, it's about time. Well, hello and welcome to my vlog, and you'll notice that I'm smiling because the copy edit is now done. Woo! So the copy editor, Rianne, who is brilliant and I love her. I've never met her actually, which is quite weird, but if I ever do, I will hug her, so she's been warned. She's brilliant at finding little niggles, like when I've changed somebody's eye colour, or if I've said some things next week and then it's 4 weeks down the line and that kind of thing. She's been really, really good at that, so we found loads of things on that. That's all done, it's all checked, it's all gone, and now it's going to be put into the page proofs, which is actually quite the exciting bit of the book. It's when you actually get to see what the book's going to look like. So for me, that is brilliant because it stops being a massive Word file on my Mac and it starts being something that actually looks like the book, because it looks like the pages. You'll see all the pages that you'll have either in the real book or in the ebook. Lots of exciting things happening around that. Just written a whole load of book extras as well. So you'll notice with it started with a kiss last year. We did book extras, so I carried it on because everybody loved it, so I'm doing it again. This time we have my guide to Brighton, places that you must see in Brighton. Best books and films set in Paris. That was quite fun to write that one. There's an interview with me where I talk about the themes of the book, and when you read the book you'll understand why I've done an interview about it. And it's also a short story. So there's lots of extras this time, so hopefully it's going to be something to look forward to. Now, I've got lots and lots and lots of lovely questions. You are all uniquely fab, and I love you all to bits. So I'm going to crack on and get through them. So here we go, my first question. These are all from Twitter, it's my Twitter lovelies. Hello Twitter lovelies, you're all brilliant. Emma Phillips on Twitter, hello. Emma wants to know, when writing, do you have a plot already sorted or do you let it develop when you write? Now, if it was up to me, I would like to start at the beginning and see where I end up. I always kind of have an idea of where I'm heading to, but I like the way that the story comes out of nowhere. Now, writers fall into two camps. There are people who like to know everything and for it to be really well planned all the way through, and there are people who like to fly by the seat of their pants, and that's kind of me. I'm in that sort of group. Stephen King said that writing for him was like archaeology, where you just kind of dig around in the dirt till you find something and then you dig around it to see what shape it is. That's very much how I approach my writing. I like spontaneity, I like my story to surprise me and my characters to surprise me. But not every writer is the same. Some people are really, really, really planned. I'm just not at all. So hope that answers your question. Kate Rawstrand, hello, how you doing? She wants to know, this is brilliant, this question made me laugh so much. Do you look for PK every time you've had a couple of mulled wines at the German market in Birmingham? And she said she does. You have to look for PK. You've got to look for it because you never know where he might be. So yes, probably. Although if I'm with Bob, you know, he's obviously all I'm looking for. But yeah, I think we all sort of hope that we'll find the handsome stranger that comes to our rescue. So you never know, we might find him. Thank you for your question. Sharon, who is Sharon2305, because there's quite a few Sharons, so hello Sharon. She wants to know, do I do a background history on my main characters, for example their birthdays, what they look like and their personality? Not always. I tend to kind of work that out as I go along. I don't like to know too much about my characters beforehand, because certainly when I'm writing the first draft I like to discover it. And so I will very often sit down and write things down later on when I have to make sure that my facts are straight all the way through. I always know a lot more in my head than makes it onto the page, and I think any writer would say the same thing. The thing that I like the most is finding actors or actresses who would play the characters in the movie version, because all writers dream of having a movie version. So that gives me a bit more of an idea of what they look like. But I do like, to a certain extent, for someone who's reading my book to actually be able to make up their own mind what the characters look like. And actually, I've talked to people at book signings who've explained scenes featuring some of my characters that I haven't written. So it means they've actually been thinking beyond and, you know, putting all the background history in. So I quite like that. So I kind of want to leave that as open as I can. But it depends on the character and it depends on the book. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, Lisa J. Hello, Lisa. I've had some lovely tweets with Lisa recently. Lisa said, do I always know how I want a novel to end before I begin, or does it come to me through the writing process? Well, even though I said I'm a bit of a seat of my pants flyer and I like to be spontaneous, I always have pretty much a good idea of where I want my story to end. Apart from the first book, in Fairy Tale of New York, I actually wrote 3 different endings before I submitted it to anybody, before I put it on, you know, Autonomy or let anybody see it. I wrote 3 different endings, but my gut instinct, which was the first ending that I wrote and the ending that made it into the book, was the one that I pretty much knew all the way through it would be that way. But I did try other ones just to make sure. Now I tend to have an idea of where I'm going, and I like to just have fun on the journey. So I know where it starts, I know where it's going, I know the kind of things I want to have in the book, but I still try and keep it as spontaneous as possible. So I hope that answers your question. Carol K, hello Carol, how you doing? What goes through your mind once the book goes to press awaiting publishing day? I try not to think about it. I get butterflies. In fact, I will get butterflies from next month because it's July. So to get butterflies from about July through to November, because it's I don't have kids yet, but my friend has kids, and she said the first day of school's really bad because you kind of wave them off and you can't do anything more for them. They're off into the world, and I kind of feel a bit like that. I think I always worry, have I done enough? Is the story good enough? You know, is everyone going to love it like they've loved the other books? So I try not to think about it. I can get quite obsessive. Bob stops me looking at the Waterstones website because there's a little number of days to publication counter, and I get quite obsessed with that. So yeah, I try not to think about it, and normally I'm actually then starting to write the next book. So I try and keep myself busy, so I hope that answers your question. Ria, hello Ria, lovely Ria. Ria wants to know, do I get much say in the design of my book covers? I do get consulted actually, but then I think Nikki does such a good job. Nikki, who's the designer of all my book covers, including the most recent one, which you'll have seen, When I've Fallen in Love, which is amazing. I kind of get consulted sometimes about, you know, what do I think. With the new one, I was very conscious that I didn't want to have, you know, the classic woman looking across the rooftops in Paris to the Eiffel Tower, because actually Elsie doesn't want to go to Paris. She ends up in Paris, but she really doesn't want to go there, and you'll find out why in the book. So I really like the fact that it's done from the bottom of the Eiffel Tower looking up, because then it looks like more of a contemplative thing, so I really like that. But I'm just so chuffed with them. I mean, I think they're beautiful, so I don't tend to interfere too much, but they do ask me questions, so it is quite cool. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, and finally from Mama J. Hello. Do I celebrate completing a draft and edits, and if so, how? Number 1, sleep. That's very important. My favourite thing to do is to go to the cinema by myself. I'm a massive cinema fan, absolutely adore it. I'm actually looking at writing screenplays at the moment, so it's research, it's brilliant. I get to go to the cinema a lot. But I like to go to the cinema, and my best thing ever is if I can go and see two shows in a day, maybe have lunch at Frankie and Benny's in the middle of it. That's just by myself, and I love that. Invariably though, when I finish a draft or edits, there's nothing good on at the cinema, which is, you know, sort of just what you expect really, but that would be my best thing. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your questions. Now ask me some more, because I love knowing what you want to know about. All you have to do, drop a comment in the box underneath this vlog, and I'll answer them for you next time. Until then, take care, see you soon, bye.